Good morning, good morning. Welcome to my channel, Sword and Cross Cherry. Today is Tuesday, February 24th, 8:27 a.m. All right, so, I want to speak on what has gone on with this child custody case, how these tarot readers put their hand in it, how Mr. Samuels, a.k.a. Bear, how the entire Sampson family has gangstalked my son, myself, and some of my family. How they also cyber stalked and tried to cyber bully. If you refer to one of my prior videos, you will see where a tarot reader is doing a reading, and this is how they did it. They would drop bits and pieces of information here and there from each tarot reader, in the attempt to keep someone from suing or figuring out what was going on. Anyhow, I guess they thought somebody was just a dumbass. But the most pathetic part of this is they expected, the attorneys don't want me to make a video, people don't want me speaking out, but you all expect my family to sit here like open targets while we are being stalked, cyber stalked, having incomes targeted. You all have called my job, told my boss I was a drug addict, and of course, we know that is what they tried to push. So we're going to go over this one more time because somebody is going to get sued. And, Miss Sampson had 6 years to speak her voice. They spoke it to tarot readers. It was spoken all over the World Wide Web. Miss Coletta Bowie had an opportunity to speak her voice. Samuel Chambers had the opportunity to speak his voice. Miss Velma Nethery had the opportunity to speak her voice. But yet our voices were supposed to never be heard. The attorney, of course, thinks that, I'm wrong for making these videos. Well, ma'am, you're not the one cornered. You're not the one targeted. And we needed you to fight for us. And instead, we're told to shut up and sit down and not make videos. You have no idea the horrific BS that was going on in the background. These people also stole my identity as well. Here you see, this is a picture of my Facebook and my son's Facebook. As you can see, my name is spelled A-D-D-I-E. Here's the fake one they made, A-D-I-E, where they were reaching out to other people, reaching out to family members, acquaintances, friends, anyone they could try to get in on it to help gang stalk and target. This also involves some of my own family members, a Miss Velma Nethery, whom claims, and I do have on audio, on camera, a video of Miss Nethery exclaiming that Miss Sampson reached out to her. Now, this is a mother that never could pass a drug test for meth and never got her children back. So, we have a couple mothers here, a couple drug addicts that got together and thought that they could destroy someone's life. A nurse, a grandmother, and someone standing up and fighting for what is just, right, and justified. It's sickening. The entire thing was sickening. Okay, so, when this all began, let's see if there's a date on there. April 12th. That was not this year nor last year. These people were already gang stalking my family long before I ever put up my YouTube channel. I went to work at St. Christina's in 21. And this one right here, Miss Coletta Bowie, right here, asked me, Miss Hattie, have you ever heard of MK Ultra? And we all know what MK Ultra is. At the time, I did not. But it's watching someone in their home while you play with their mind and try to mentally torment them. But yet we're told to sit down and shut up, not make a video, not speak the truth, not stand and fight for justice. Let it just flow through the system like, oh, this is just a normal custody case. This is not a normal custody case. This was a hate crime. So, these two birds right here put my two grandbabies in a stage car wreck for profit. One ass-ended the other for profit. Right here in Louisiana, Pineville, coming off the expressway to 28 East. She has a brother named Roach. I want you to see what I look like here. carrying on. Can't you see she's on the meth? Well, darling, apparently because you're on the meth, you can't figure out what somebody looks like when they're on meth, and that's not it. All right, so here we have Miss Tiffany put herself up in the middle of it. Now, again, mind you, we were gang stalked by the entire family. Miss Angela made the comment, my clan, my clan. This was a hate crime. This wasn't just custody. You see, my son tried to never bring racism into this. But chariot readers helped bring racism into it. Chariot readers helped obstruct justice, helped delay justice. You have to excuse my mess in the background. I have a project going on. But I'm tired of holding my peace. I'm tired of sitting back and being targeted and being told not to speak. You've heard the video of that baby screaming. You know, I'm having a hard time understanding why you need an ad lib, why you have to consistently flow through the court thing with all of the, apparently it's strictly all about the money. We know a child has been beaten here. We know a child is being abused. We know 2 little girls have to sit and watch this because apparently everyone else in the home thinks it's okay. Every adult in this home seen this child beat consistently every day, as well as put their hands on him also. Bear. Now, I don't know what some people are thinking or if some people have the intellectual ability to understand what you're doing is wrong. Or if it's simply because you think you can play victim, and come out of this the winner, even after you have gang stalked, cyber bullied, threatened my son, threatened my life, threatened my son's life. The mother herself told him, if you keep telling your daddy about the abuse, Bear has a GUN and he's going to do your daddy harm. No man should have to go through this type of bullshit to fight over their children. You know, a custody battle is hard enough on all parties involved to begin with, but to have your life threatened by a man that's not even kin to these children other than marriage. A man that ran out on his own grandchildren when it was time to fight. A thief, a criminal, and a con artist. All right, so let's get on in it here. Y'all tried to play with my mind. You literally tried to, like I said, you'll have to excuse my mess. I have a project going on. You literally tried to push someone to insanity. You tried to make someone look crazy. Darling, I've never been crazy. How would you expect someone to act? You know, this reminds me of exactly what happens to celebrities in Hollywood. Look at Dave Chappelle, how he ran off. Look at what they did to Martin. The guy that played Martin Lawrence. Or if his name is Martin Lawrence, I don't know. It's doxing. There was a lot of false reports made. From day one, when she accused him of trying to attack her with a machete, that was an outright lie. Because it went from, he attacked you with the machete, to, oh wait, he tried to attack your brother with a knife, and then it wasn't your brother, it was your uncle. Y'all committed identity fraud. There's no telling what you've done with my Social Security number since you all got your hands on it. You hacked us. You violated so many federal laws. You put your hands off in this. Not only did you manipulate the judicial system and the CPS system, you also put your hands off in this, committing federal crimes to make sure you could win. And I have to say that's sickening. Sickening. You went to extreme extents to win. So you could continue to abuse children. So you wouldn't be charged for your crimes. It's sickening. These children deserve better than what you have done for them. You have the audacity to, and it appears, look at the people living off grid. Our world's changing. But you consistently pushed. You used the fact that he didn't have a job. And you know why he didn't have a job? Because he was trying to protect his little girls. So now his attorney wants to drop him. Why would you drop a case that could literally make you world known? Why would you drop a case when you have all of the evidence needed to win it? Why would you ask someone to shut up, sit down, and not speak, yet they have sat back and dealt with years of their income being targeted, their home being targeted, their sanity being targeted? You were paid 10 grand to fight. That's what we need you to do, fight. Why is there an ad lib even needed when the proof is there? You have a video of a child being beaten. I mean, do you need to pay an ad lib $1,500 to view it and say, okay, this party is in the correct? Because from what I understand, what the ad lib is all about is going into the home, speaking with the children, speaking with the parents. Well, that video kind of makes that null and void. What speaking do you need to do when you hear a toddler screaming for mercy after he has received 22 lashes with a leather strap, and then hand it over to a different criminal to beat on him some more? And from what I understand, yes, that did happen. Mr. Samuel Chambers, after this mother tortured and beat this child, I mean, it upsets me highly. At this point, all I can say, Mr. Samuels, you are a huge piece of shit. You're just a piece of shit. But for this mother to beat this child this way and then hand him over to you to beat even more, baby, you need some mental health severely. You have some serious mental health issues. But you see, that is what y'all tried to twist and portray to me. I've been a nurse for over 11 years, administering insulin, administering meds, drug calculations. Y'all literally tried to torment my mind while I was out taking care of other people. You tried to call me crazy because of this. A rare phenomenon. It kind of looks to me like God's fed up with Carolina. You see that? That is no instrumental cut. And any idiot can see that. You don't need a medical certificate in any way to figure that out. During this time, the attorney's assistant was having conversations with Miss Sampson. I don't even know where that falls, but I just don't think that's legal. So now you want to drop the man? It took us many months of working to get that 10 grand together. While Miss Sampson now hollers she's sick, no job. At no point did we ever target these people's income, these people's home. Did I call in to CPS on child abuse? You damn straight I did. Several times. The entire time this man was standing here trying to tell you these children were being abused, you targeted him, you discriminated against him, and you racially targeted him. Now, we have a problem in our world when children are abused like this. Nobody stands up for it. I don't care what color he is. I don't care what color I am. Nobody is standing up for what this little man has gone through. It shouldn't have to wait for a judge to say, oh, yes, that video's correct. That video's valid. What is it going to take? We're seeing children slaughtered. Slaughtered. Mother drives them off the bridge in the car. She's standing on the bridge. We're seeing it every day. Can y'all not see what this is leading to? Can y'all not understand this is leading to some people getting harmed? Be it them, us, the children. But yet, let's make sure we drain the coffers and keep putting it through rotation after rotation after rotation through the judicial system. It's not hard to see here who the criminals are, who's speaking the truth, and what needs to happen. You put these children right back in this home. Twice. This aunt abuses them mentally. No child in the home where they're supposed to feel safe, loved, and provided for should feel like they are belittled and outcast. And like you are better than them because, darling, you are not. You are not. You're jealous. You are jealous, every one of you, that these children will go further than what either of you have. And that's the sad part. Because every parent wants their child, most every parent, wants their child to succeed and do more, accomplish more, and just all around in general succeed more than they did. That's what I want for every one of mine. You tried to use the fact that I have argued with my youngest son, and I will do that any and every time. And I'll tell you why. Because I don't want him to turn out like y'all. I don't want him to turn out like Miss Velma. A con artist, a thief, a liar, a drug addict. All of this can be proven. All of this can be proven. Miss Sampson teamed up with this woman, and a lot of false accusations were made to CPS. But yet we're told to sit down, shut up, don't make a video. You cannot defend yourself. You just sit there, be a nice little target, and don't say anything. Doesn't matter if your income's being targeted, your home's being targeted, your family's being targeted, you're being targeted, to the sickening point of cyberbullying, cyber stalking, cyber gangstalking, where people try to spin out illusions and cast illusions. Wow. You dropped little pieces of information from reader to reader to reader to reader to reader, thinking nobody'd never pick up on it. Anyhow, moving on. So, Miss Sampson and Miss, again, here's where they stole my identity, and they were using this to reach out and speak with other people. Acquaintances, friends, anyone and everyone they could get on the hate train and gang up with them. All right, so we have Miss Tiffany Sampson here saying, just sad excuses. Well, darling, I don't recall seeing you in court at all. I don't recall you ever doing anything hardly for these children. It's all about playing the black card, and yes, I said that. And the whole world's sick of it. It's like you're not supposed to speak on it. Well, I call BS. It's all about playing victim, playing the black card. Well, that's not okay while children are being abused. And then we have Mr. Markell talking about throwing rocks and hiding hands. Well, isn't that what you did, sir? You see, I knew I was hacked way back when your mother showed up on my Facebook. Because I never, not once, not while y'all were together, not while you were apart, not while you were sleeping out here in my camper and you left all your other 4 kids at home the many, many times. Never have I accepted a friend request from Marie Sampson. So you can only imagine my surprise when I noticed one day, instead of 70, I had 71 friends. Example. So I go scrolling down through it, and who do I see? Miss Marie. You also violated his attorney privilege right. Y'all have read all of our emails. You have listened to his phone calls. Tarot readers did readings on vehicles being exposed, repossessed. There's no way you would have known that, baby, unless you had somebody hacked and you was reading their emails. Y'all did a lot. All right, so then we have Miss Angela Taylor here, of course. Big hiding. I'm not going to say what I would like to say to you right here on this video. You know where I'm at, bitch. You know where I'm at. I ain't hiding from you or anybody else. I'm fed up. I'm fed up with how these babies are abused. I'm fed up with how y'all thought y'all could racially target someone, commit hate crimes, commit fraud, break federal laws, commit federal crimes, cyber stalk, cyber bully, and play victim. We earned that $10,000. We worked our asses off for that $10,000. So these babies had a fair chance at being somewhere where they're not hated, belittled, and abused, mentally and physically. But yet we're told to sit down, shut up, while we're sitting targets for y'all's racial crimes, hate crimes, bullying and abuse. I don't think so, baby. I don't think so. All right, and then we have whoever Promise Lee is. Are they okay? Yes, baby, we are okay. We made it through all of y'all's BS, didn't we? And some of you are going to go to jail. All right, so then again we have, yes, he's just mad and bitter. I can't help but laugh at these people because this one right here, this Roach, this Markel Jackson, this one has always been a bum since day one. Just a bum. Any woman's couch he could lay up on, his mama's couch. Y'all really sick to try to represent that that's how my child is, when this bum right here been sleeping on all y'all's couches for 40 years. Hardly ever had a job. Knocking on little girls' door trying to get in their room. You're a sick individual, sir. All right, so then we have, what kind of mother steals her son's money when he was a child and spent it on a man and only bought him an Xbox? Well, you may want to get your facts straight, darling, because there's such thing called rent, lights, groceries, insurance, gas. But you may not know about all that now, would you? Especially seeing as how you walked off and left all three of yours while you was out ho-hoing. And from what I understand, still are. You see, this isn't me. I don't like to have to get out of here and speak on other people. But I'm fed up. I'm fed up. You caused that child a neck injury. Then you had the audacity to try to convince her it never happened. You threw Kennedy out of a chair. You got people working with you, counseling and everything else. Y'all cannot rectify this. You can't make this better. This isn't because of drugs. This is because a mother that had 6 children has never been accustomed to being home on a consistent, continuous basis with those 6 children. Hence, any drug addict that wanted to lay up could. Because then she could get in her car and leave the kids there. And that's fact. I've sat and seen that with my own eyes. And I am tired of holding my tongue on this entire situation. Y'all know y'all in the wrong. You know you're in the wrong. And then to have the audacity to target somebody else. Let me make sure it's understood here. These people were gang stalking my family. And already had themselves a little clique coven of African-American people all across YouTube. Majority of it being women that was already stalking me. And that sickens me even more. Because children were being abused here. What kind of women are you? What kind of women are you that you sit back and offer some coins, fabricate stories where you drop a little evidence here, a little evidence there? I heard one just last night. While children are being beaten and abused. So let me speak on that. I thought BLM mattered. Huh? Apparently not. Apparently not. All right, moving on. So then she says, where were you when he was growing up? Not there. Well, again, you need to get your facts straight, baby. Because I only moved to a little town 30 minutes away when my son was in high school. And that's because he didn't want to go. But of course, ignorance at its finest. So then we have, oh, she mad. Heifer couldn't take the heat. Everybody knows the truth. That's why nobody got time for these mentally challenged people. Well, let me ask you, Miss Tiffany Sampson. What do you consider mentally challenged? Because I consider a woman that beats a toddler with a leather strap, 20 lashes, and then gives him over to a one-legged criminal to beat some more, a little more than mentally challenged. But apparently you are as well if you don't have enough common sense to comprehend that. So then we have Travis here, oh, they SSA, whatever that means. And then Joy Sampson, all true. What kind of grandmother are you? That's what I want to know because you see, you help. You help. You're the one that made the comment, we need more black babies around here. Why would you say something like that to your grandchildren? Why would you try to insult them, harm them, hurt their feelings? You just like the rest of them, madam. You just like the rest of them. When they needed their little school clothes dried, you were so greedy you wouldn't even take your washer or dryer out of storage. Says a lot about you, baby. Says a lot about you. Because I will walk to the gates of hell for my grandbabies. So I don't know who the hell you are, but you're not a grandmother. Matter of fact, you don't even act like a good civilized woman. All right, so then we had, again, Tiffany Sampson. For real, the lies they tell. It's too many of us that know the truth. No, You thought you could come at someone with numbers and exploit the real truth. And we'll be in the courtroom to testify with bells on. Funny. I damn sure didn't see you there, girlie. All right, so then we have whoever this chick is, Priscilla. Show right, because my sister and all siblings come from a wonderful mother who raised them with nothing but love, patience, and understanding. They better fall back with food. Well, but from what I understand, the stories of Miss Sampson from her childhood, that's not how it went down, baby. And again, your actions show everything. If you're such a good mother, what happened? You gave up when it came to being a grandmother? If you're such a good mother, why is your son a bum? Huh? I had someone say, and I have that on video as well, what about your kids? Well, let me tell you about mine. One's married, back in school, married a man in the Navy. One's head of maintenance, and one works for the state. Imagine that. You can probably only say that about 2 of yours. Maybe 3. I'm fed up. You and your facts are lies, Miss Marie. Nothing but lies. You belittled these children. Miss Janelle Chambers, y'all sprayed whiskey in their face. You've done a lot to these children. These children deserve to be somewhere where they are loved and can grow up in a normal childhood. You have told them, don't listen to them people. There's no such thing as sin. You literally ruined their childhood. You literally are trying to strip these children of their childhood. Something we only get once. How scandalous. How shameful. All right, again. Here we have Angela Taylor again speaking on my son. And it's the same woman that has also helped gang stalk me. Almost 40 and Mommy Addie still fighting your battles. Pitiful, James. Well, wait, let me check. Did not all of you clan up? Including Mommy Marie? Facts. To try to stand behind each other's lies? Gang stalk somebody? Target somebody? This man was screaming out over what his children was going through. CPS discriminated. And now you have an attorney that wants to drop a case. And I just can't tell you how I feel about that. Especially as a woman with a backbone. I just, everything in the world now has came down to ass kissing, clout chasing, I swear. I've sat and watched many of these court proceedings as the fact that I had foster children. We go into the court. They ask if the mother's got the home, passed the drug test, everything. And they damn sure didn't hand them right back to her. But I guess Louisiana's different than Carolina. Louisiana believes in keeping children safe. Y'all made a lot of false allegations on me. You planned up with Miss Velma, whose children I'm the foster mother of. And you told lies. You told lies. You had your minor daughter accuse me of pulling the GUN on her, which is a flat-out, flat-face lie. But we know where it came from because it's also in here, where Miss Sampson says it. All right, so then we have, again, here is Markel Roach. This old bag right here and her son, methadone addict. She's a meth addict, steals meds. Aha, there's where it came from. Steals meds off the cart, Pecan Road. Now, we know where that came from. That's a jealous nurse that lost her job that worked with me. Again, in 2018, I put in 743 hours of overtime. In 2019, I put in 840 hours of overtime. I got a pay raise. I also got a promotion, while Miss Matoyer did not. Because Miss Matoyer was spending more time at home on her porch hanging out with young people getting drunk. That's fact, baby. That's fact. And I'm fed up. I'm fed up with the lies. I'm fed up with the harassment. Miss Matoyer couldn't even stand this woman. Talk crap about her. But as soon as I told her, you're nothing but a damn demon, don't you ever call me again, she lammed right up with Miss Sampson. All right, so needless to say, at where she works, they get on the internet and lie. Nobody's trying to murder her son. He's a bum that plays mind games with his children. So you play mind games with your children? No. What my son did was speak truth to his children. You all are the ones that play mind games. When you tell a child, oh, you're going to make mama sad after that child's been abused, that's mind game, baby. When you tell that child you're going to hurt mama's feelings, y'all have done nothing but play mind games. You paid tarot readers. Mind games. Just like meth heads. Just like meth heads. All right, moving on. He's a sorry stay-at-home. Well, you know what? At least he was with his children. Where's yours, Roach? Because you didn't raise a damn one of them. You are Angela. All right, moving on. If you work there with her, she's racist and plays victim. Her son's a bum, and they mad because his freeloading days come to an end. Freeloading, huh? Freeloading. I pumped more into that house, baby, in the past 6 years than your mama, your brother, or anybody else other than your sister. Because I knew my son's purpose and his cause. And I have records of that. Every transaction sent. I've never seen such jealousy and disgrace. Every one of you, this entire family, felons, criminals, not bank robbery, robbery, beating on pregnant women. And I've got the proof on all of that. But yet we're told to sit down and shut up while you all target us, doxy us, make false allegations. You see, we never tried to affect any of y'all's income. We didn't try to affect Miss Sampson's income. We didn't try to affect Miss Chambers' income, Mr. Chambers' income, Marie's income, Angela's income, or nobody else's. Because that's not who we are, baby. We're not criminals, cons, and thieves. All right, moving on. This right here is where Miss Angela made the comment, my clan, my clan, my clan. And, of course, Facebook, vetoed that. So then we have Travis saying, Angie, you had to put that out there for people. And then she says, I'll make a page tomorrow just to get blocked again. Because I'm not done yet. Well, guess what? I'm not done yet. I don't know who the hell you think you are, baby girl. I don't know who you think you are. But you can see here from her comment how many times I've had to block her from my Facebook. And then we have Travis, the pettiness. You right, brother? You right, bro. The pettiness. Do I need to play the video of your little nephew screaming again? As a man, you're repulsive. You're repulsive. You have no honor, no pride, no dignity, and no integrity. That makes you a piece of trash. You know what's going on in his home. But it's that's the difference between you and me. I got a cousin that treated her kids shitty. Do you think I stood up for that? Do you think when CPS got on her and she called me and asked me to lie, what do you think I said? Oh, yeah, girl, tell them to call me. No, I don't think so. I told them the truth. These children were left sitting beside the interstate overnight while Mama beat the roads. These children were left sitting at an old woman's house when Mama helped steal a vehicle and then turned around and sued that old woman. No morals, no integrity, and no respect. Moving on. These are some weird people. Is that right, Miss Tiffany? Well, again, I didn't see you at the courthouse. And you want to call us weird? When you're helping covet children being beaten, children being starved. But we're the weird ones. I don't think so, baby. Apparently you don't have much in the way of common sense. All right, then we have Miss DeWanda Gable here. My grandma would always tell us something. Again, I'll make a page tomorrow just to get blocked again because I'm not done yet. So we can easily see here who was stalking who. Someone also made a page in my son's name, James Calgoon. And they had to have used my phone number because when I went to get into my Facebook and I put the number in, that's what came up. So I'm like, hey, you want to be a con artist and steal it? Cool. Let's use it for you. And I have tried to delete that, and it just won't let me. All right, so. My grandma would always tell us, be careful who you're laying down and making babies with. I pray the children have some peace. Well, at least somebody has some common sense, and she is correct. Be careful who you're laying down making babies with. Because you might get somebody strung out on drugs, somebody that beats children, abuses children, snatches them up by the hair, causes them injuries, throws them out of chairs, puts poison donuts on counters. This entire thing was sickening. So here we have I put a GoFundMe up for my son. Now again, these people were targeting us, but yet we're told to sit down, shut up, don't make a video, don't defend yourself. So not only did you gang stalk me through tarot readers, these tarot readers tried to corner me, sit me down, shut me up. Soon as I came out the gate, every one of you planned up together, that's hate crime, to make sure that channel was blocked, as well as possibly some government officials. Because Mr. Leach knew about this case. All right, so then we have, do not put money on Addie's GoFundMe. It's a scam. Well, let me see. Nothing says scam more than putting your 2 children in a staged accident for money. Nothing says scam more than putting your 2 children in harm's way for money. Nothing says scam like Mr. Samuels coaching every one of you on how to do car wrecks and cash in. James Calhoun, why are you trying to tear a mother from her kids? Addie Newcomb didn't raise you. You should know how that feel. Well, again, you may want to check your facts because I've always been in my children's lives. A child needs their mother. Well, not if that mother's beating the hell out of them. Not if that mother's starving them. Again, no common sense. This is all about playing a certain card, clanning up. This was and is a hate crime. All right, so shame you, you miserable man. You know, because, I mean, you can't get more miserable than somebody named Roach sleeping on all of his family's couches for 40 years. As well as babysitting a toddler, an infant, and it rolling off the bed into the closet and him not being able to find it for a couple hours. As well as leaving my son's children locked in his room while they're watching him out the window as he walks down the street in the trailer park. This has gone on entirely too long. All right, let's see. Here we have it right here. Oh, it was Miss Angela Taylor that said it. I stand corrected. Didn't your son leave Louisiana because you pulled a GUN on him in a meth-induced rage? This came from his mouth. Well, guess what? I asked my son if he said that, and if he would have, why he would have even said something like that. And he said, no, Mama, you know I ain't said that shit. Well, see, I know my son's not a liar. Because what I've experienced with your family and your sister are liars. Right from somebody hit your truck, James, in the parking lot, but yet it had a big yellow slash down it from a parking pole. Right from 3,000 got stolen in Walmart. Right from the many lies. And I'm just appalled that no one is standing up and fighting for this child that's being beaten. That we're told to sit down and shut up while these people, you telling me because it is because of their color? What? Because last I checked, we're all American citizens, and you have the right to defend yourself. But y'all expected us to sit down, stay cornered. You targeted incomes, so we would have to really struggle to get any money together for any defense. You've targeted vehicles. Okay, first off, baby, I've never been a meth addict. My dental issues was because I was passing out too much money to my kids. But we got that fixed now, don't we? Ha! All right, so, and then again, where was you growing up? You was not there. Well, how would you know? Because you sure as hell weren't there. Okay, so then, here we have mother and duo are scammers, do not send any money to their GoFundMe. They're both miserable people, been trying for years to take my sister's kids. Well, that's a damn lie. That's a damn lie. No matter how much filth I saw, and I do have pictures of that as well. Because I walked into your home one day, Miss Sampson, and almost stepped on my own grandchild. Just thought she was trash laying there on the floor up amongst all the trash. Her little hair splayed out. I actually, at first when I saw it, I thought it was a mop. Until I realized that was my grandbaby laying there. The only mistake we made was not suing your ass for custody before you ever left the state of Louisiana. All right, so they talk crap, post videos, but then delete and block us for supporting family. Well, you go ahead and support your family, but you contradict yourself. What, you think I don't have the American United States right to support my family? Which is my son. I'm all he has, baby, and I will stand until the end of times. The gates of hell, doesn't matter. That is my child. All right, here we have a little tarot reading called Spooked. Now, let me tell you what this is about. And this is just another example of how I knew y'all were listening in. When he was at your house before he left to come back to Louisiana, he walked in the room. He knew he had already shut the front door. He said, damn, Mama, I'm pretty sure I shut that front door. He says, I'm a little spooked. Boom, next day tarot reading on it. You all have sat and listened. Again, you violated attorney-client privileges. You violated federal laws. I haven't spoken. Let me say this. I haven't spoken to any of these people in over 5 years. 5 years. Anybody sitting telling you anything, you may want to question it. I haven't spoke to them. I don't hang around a lot of people. So anybody telling you anything, they're damn lie, baby. Because all I do is go to work and go home. But that just goes to show exactly what went down here. Somehow you were watching us in our home. You were listening, be it a camera, be it hacked. You violated many federal laws. It's very sickening what you did to protect what you did. Only an idiot commits a bigger crime to cover up their first crime. All right, so again, we're going to go over this one more time because I'm fed up with this too. I am of sane mind and body, baby. And for too long, y'all have tried to portray I am crazy. You never told anyone all the BS y'all were doing in the background to me and my family. When I was out here screaming for FBI, when I was out here screaming for what was going on, I've known since I first started hearing my life played to me over the internet. And this one said, Miss Addie, do you know what MK Ultra is? Y'all really tried to play some sick shit. But we're expected to just sit down, let someone exploit our life, listen in on our private life, right down to picking a boogie that everybody in the world does. The blister. Can you see that? That's the blister. That's the dead skin right there that came up on my hand during COVID. There's the blister before I peeled it off. And there's after I peeled it off. And I'm tired of defending that. First off, I'm a wuss when it comes to pain. Second, I'm not insane, nor do I get into self-torture. You can see the dry skin around it where I pulled the blister skin, dead skin off. You can see how wide it was. This is not something made by an instrument. This was a rare phenomenon that happened while I was speaking out for children being abused in South Carolina. So, in my sane capabilities, my common sense tells me, because, nobody could have been more shocked than I was. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine pulling that dead skin off knowing you have busted your ass for the past couple years and there's blood across sitting underneath it? Can you imagine that? Nobody was more shocked than I was. And then you tried to crucify me over it. Then you tried to say I was mentally insane. So, baby, I have no worries because, the attorney can drop us today. The court system can postpone it just however, whatever. But this is why I have no worries. Because I'm here to tell you, baby, apparently G.O.D. is tired of South Carolina. It's tired of children being used as pawns, abused. So for everybody that has a hand in all of this, baby, I'm feeling some judgments coming down the line, and I'm already seeing it. I'm seeing judges taking off of benches. But I want you to look close at that. You see the ridges in it? You have a lot of audacity to try to portray someone as crazy because they were literally taking care of God's children. Half his children, people don't even know they're in the world where I work. You tried to portray I was aggressive. I've never came at anybody unless they came at me. I've been kicked, bit, spit on, punched, slammed against the wall, hit in the back with a fist, and I've never laid a hand on any of these people. Not once. Not once. Y'all played a very sick game. A very sick game with your little MK Ultra. And then you invited tarot readers. You literally invited the world to watch me in my home, my private life. How sickening, how twisted. Right down to how I wipe my butt, if I pick my nose, what I eat. Oh yeah, I remember your tarot reading on that as well. This person's eating habits. Y'all some sick individuals. These tarot readers that put themselves up in the middle of this case, every one of you, need to be facing obstruction of justice charges, as well as a child abuse charge, because this was delayed for so long. Because of y'all. Because of y'all shenanigans. Because of y'all. You know, again, you can only imagine. There is no one that will ever know what I went through behind this BS. Behind Miss Sampson, her family's lies, the con artists, the thieves, the felons, and it's all there. Anybody can go look it up. It's public knowledge. And I also want to say this. There's a reader here, and I can't help but laugh at you, darling, because let's hear it, spirit. Baby girl, I got you dead to rights. Because you see, I've never mentioned certain names in any of these videos. And I made sure I screenshot every one of them when you did it. I just cannot even tell you the names. Cameron, Patrick, Dominique, on and on. Greer, Fry, people in my community. The only name I've actually mentioned on these videos in the community was Griffins. So what I want to know is for somebody living overseas, because you're not psychic. And I noticed here lately, apparently you think ass kissing and clout chasing is going to get you somewhere. Well, darling, you fail to realize they actually see you as a Fruit Loop also. Because, see, I remember when you was talking about people moving stuff in your house, people stealing your food, and you couldn't even walk to the store. But now that's all changed. Now you're out here targeting me. So you're no different than the rest of them. You just clanned up. I've never seen people, for everything you say I am, be so desperate for some coins. That children are abused. That you gang stalk someone. That you MK Ultra someone. So, yeah, before it's over with, yeah, some of you going to jail, some of you going to be facing charges. I am going to push for RICO. It really appalls me that this attorney has everything she needs to win this case. Not only win it, because I'm here to tell you, eventually all of this is going to go public. Probably because of this and the gang stalking. And, you know, you really could have made a name for yourself, not just in Carolina. Yeah, you know, you could have been known as the one that fought for this little dude. The one that fought for justice and what was right. Instead of the one that just doesn't want to have to deal with it. Well, you got your 10 grand. So, I mean, at this point, all I can say is if you're going to drop the case, send back the 10 grand. Because we busted our asses for that. It took us 6 months. You know, we had people targeting our income to get that money together. That's putting a lot of bills to the side and just focusing on that money for you. For you. Now, I'm sure you go home at night, it's no bother to you, but it's a bother to this little dude. That's what you was paid for. And by no means am I trying to discredit you. I'm simply saying I have common sense, book smarts, and street smarts. And I'm not understanding what the problem is. Because you have the evidence. You have the knowledge to walk in there and just tear everybody a new ass. So what I'm seeing is apparently exactly what I saw when dealing with these foster children. You just go in. Nobody truly gets to tell any side of the story. The attorneys stand there, and this one says this one says that, and then the judge says, you know, what the ruling is. Be it remove the children, leave the children there, come back in 3 months. Because with this case, it was every 6 months, I think. Anyhow, at the time, I could not speak on it because of a minor child in the home. The only child still here is no longer a minor, and I have asked him if he minded if I spoke on it. And he said, yes, that was no problem. This mother here did a lot in the background. Again, she never passed a meth test and never got her kids back. But she was busy trying to target me. I've just never seen such. You know, I never targeted Miss Sampson's income because that is where my grandchildren live and eat. Supposed to eat. So why would I target someone's income so that mother would have a harder time trying to feed those kids? It's sickening. It's demonic. But yet, Miss Velma, as well as tarot readers and Miss Sampson's family, because you were all listening. You were listening to anything and everything I had going on. And due to that, any progress, any forward movement, any projects, anything, y'all tried to put a halt to it. So last, this is what I have to say. If you're telling the truth and you're standing in truth, well, baby, why you got to gang stalk somebody? Why you got to target somebody? It's because you're not. You've done nothing but lie. Same way you lied in court. Same way you lied on that police report. Y'all literally said this man was standing in your home. You listed his birthday and everything. He wasn't there. He's 1,000 miles away. I've never seen such sickness. No integrity. No morals. And apparently no common sense. You know, you say you love these kids. You know, people holler BLM. And that's not what I'm seeing at all. That's not what I'm seeing at all. What I'm seeing is let's clan together and fight just because they're white. That's what I'm seeing. And that's just fact. And, you know, I'm not the only person speaking on this in the world right now. And I'm sorry if that pisses you off, but that is simple logic deducted from fact. It's facts, baby. It's facts. Y'all played some sick, twisted, mental ill games to try to make someone else look mentally ill. Just doesn't get more demonic than that, does it? And let me tell you what makes it demonic. Did you hear his screams? Did you see how skinny my grandbaby was? But yet they're fighting. They're fighting for what's right. No. You're fighting to keep your mask from slipping and being exposed. Being exposed for someone that is just pathetic. No morals, no integrity. Let children starve, beat children. You're sick. Every adult in this home needs to be facing obstruction of justice and child abuse. Every adult in this home, the grandmother, the uncle, the aunt, Miss Sampson, Miss Sampson's daughter, every one of them need to be facing child abuse and obstruction of justice charges, as well as gang stalking, RICO, for what you did. And what you're still trying to do. You told a lot of lies. You manipulated the judicial system. You manipulated the CPS system. Not only did you do that, you used the internet to cyber stalk someone and try to cyber bully them. Wow, y'all tried to come at me from every direction. Wow, you targeted their income. Again, like I said, an innocent person don't have to do that, baby. I didn't target your income. I simply got out here and spoke truth. Now, for the CPS workers that say, oh, that looks erratic. Well, darling, how erratic does that video sound to you? Where that child's being beaten. You need some more schooling, baby girl. You also need to lose your immunity, your job, and your pension. Because you did racially target someone and discriminate against them. This man was screaming out over his children being abused. And at no time did you take it seriously. I have also seen since then where 2 children have passed away in the state of Carolina. Y'all need to make some changes, baby. And I do believe the good man, the big man, says it's time because y'all going to be facing some judgment. And that's just logic. Take into consideration the fact that I did not do this to myself. The fact that this showed up when I was screaming that they were going to try to kill my son. And they did. Hence, Mr. Rodney, Mr. Roach, a felon, and his mommy trying to get him a GUN. A pistola. What y'all was doing was y'all was rage baiting him, trying to set him up. You would all gang up against him anytime he had something to say. You wait till he gets pissed, standing there defending himself against 3, 4, 5 people, and then you turn on the cameras. Y'all played a very sick game. Very sick game. And because the attorney actually truly doesn't want to fight the case, now she wants to drop it. And that's okay. If you drop it, if you feel like you need to drop it, then you do that. But I will not stop until this goes public. And I'll also be speaking on that, how the case was dropped. But, you know, the way I see it is you have all the evidence you need to literally walk in there and walk the dog on some asses and make sure these children get justice. I know if it was me and I had the power you doing as an attorney, baby, all them judges would hate me because I'd push. But I also have a name for myself. That's the old girl you want to hook up. That's the old girl you want to pay. That's the old girl you want on your side. Because that one'll fight. That one's a warrior. That one don't just go home, lay her head down. That one don't just side with or go with the flow. I've said my say. Now let me say this. Y'all gonna back up off of me. For every one of you that had a hand in this, you're gonna be facing something. If it's not simply judgment, it's the hand of God, it's gonna be judicial. I will not sit down, shut up, or go away. I'll keep collecting evidence. You have no idea the evidence I have. Y'all thought y'all was playing somebody for a fool while you tried to play with their mind for 6 years. Your family have been stalking me since about 2019. You were already using tarot readers to cyber stalk me before I ever put the channel up around February of 2021. And I know this because I was hearing them speak on it. As far as the tarot readers, I just don't think there's much going to change my opinion about y'all. Y'all just some sorry-ass women, baby. For grandmothers, mothers, you know, to sit back, watch this, and target a person. Again, it was a hate crime. It was all because of this right here. That old Lily White. It was all because of that. You don't know me. You don't know my son. You don't know this case, and you don't know these children. What you did was listen to a lot of lies and jump on the hate crime train because of skin color. And that's fact. That's logic. It's straight fact. You know it. I know it. And the world is going to know it. It was sickening. It was very sickening. Children were caught in the middle as pawns over y'all's little racial games, trying to cause someone mental illness. I don't think I've seen some crazy shit in my life. I don't think I have ever seen something so vile. Not to mention the tornado and what went down in 2018 and how you tarot readers tried to drag that shit out. All to make a coin. You sit here and you call yourself divine, but yet you try to bring someone mental harm, physical harm. You want to push them to insanity or push them to physical harm. So anyhow, there was a lot of people who had a handoff in this. Miss Velma, Miss Nethery, the Sampsons, the Newcombs, Watley, and it goes all the way back to a person that possibly also played a hand in it with his little meme of when you stop posting crazy stuff, we'll release you. You don't have that right, sir. You don't have that authority. And if you did have a hand in it, suit will be filed against you as well. I don't know who you thought you were. Do you know who God is? What's that? What you asked me? Do you know who I am? Do you know who God is? Because if you don't, I bet you're going to find out. Peace out.